Good morning and welcome to the UnKnamed Cornerstore. I'm Renee Burt. Today I'm going to be showing you some of my finished products and some of the stuff I'm still working on. So, without further ado, let's get started. We'll start with just my loose stuff. Here we've got an old snail shell from a freshwater tank. And I've got some blue dye with some glow-in-the-dark powder in it. And I may get my blacklight ladder out here in just a minute and show everybody what that looks like. I was a big fan of The Little Mermaid when I was little. And this here is charcoal dust. We do some blacksmithing in the backyard, and the coal dust in the bottom, it won't burn, and it just sprays everywhere. So I found another use for it. It makes a real nice onyx black in resin. And the top half of that glows in the dark, almost like a glow-in-the-dark emerald. Oh, that's a mistake I made. I didn't drill a hole in this one before putting the eyelet in, and I thought, maybe if I just screwed it into it, it would be okay, but it's not. It's split wide open. I need to fix that one. And here, we'll just get some out. Here's where I was testing a new dye I got, and I was trying to see how much I needed to put in to get different shades of purple, and it came out really cool. This is an individual bead. This is onyx pebbles, tumbled stones, with some citrine tumbled and combined together. With stones, you kind of have to put the resin in first and then slowly add your stones in, otherwise it traps bubbles in it sometimes and makes holes in the sides. And here we've got amethyst, and these down here to make the clear part, to keep it from mixing together. That actually has just glass beads in it. And the top, of course, is dyed, and then it's got the glow-in-the-dark powder in the top. Here's another of the same kind, the stones. This is rose petals. Of course, you have to dry these first, because if you don't dry them really good, get some drying beads and dry them out really well, then over time they actually change colors in the resin. These would eventually turn yellow, even encased like this. This one is more of the charcoal, or just the coal dust, with a bit of dye and glow-in-the-dark powder. This was another one that I have to fix a bit. I did this in 2 pours, but I got in a hurry and I threw the stones in first, and if you can see it, there's a big gap, there we go, where the 2 pores did not seal up correctly, where air was caught. Something I'm gonna have to go back and fix. It's another one that I split open from not actually taking the time to drill a hole. Oh, there, a piece broke off. But there's 2 pours that I did where I waited till the first pour was almost completely hardened but still gooey, and put a second pour on top of it so that they did fit together but didn't mix completely. And there's just really a lot in this box. Those are some confetti stars, and these are snail shells from one of my friends' yard. She always has a lot of shells left over every winter. This one has snake shed in it from the little Kenyan sand boa that I own, with a few stones. This is something that I've been working on. I give each of these guys a name. This one's Pumpkin, and he's a black walnut. He has raw aquamarine eyes with a little bit of glow powder, and I made him a hoodie for a kind of a winter theme. This I made for Halloween also, and it is rattlesnake spine from a rattlesnake that was actually out in our yard, and the kids were way too close to where it was at, and we were put in a position where we had to kill it, unfortunately. So I made use of it. This is shed from a ball python with glow powder behind it. See, snake shed turns really transparent when you set it in resin, so you can actually put stuff behind it and it looks really cool. And let's see if we can get a rose out. These ball molds are great for miniature roses and the larger flowers that can fit in it. This was one of the cactus flowers. And broken glass always looks really cool. It gives it like a broken crystal effect almost. And I'll just get a handful of the beads out. And you can make beads of all different shapes and colors. So kind of get away. I like to do the half and half ones, where it makes kind of a glowy effect in the clear part. These are snowball bush flowers, and again with flowers, even the white ones, you have to dry them out, otherwise they do turn yellow. Something interesting I recently discovered: cicada shells, when set up right, will hold resin on their own. So I have taken to filling them with glow-in-the-dark powder and resin, so that it makes almost like an alien-like creature. There's a few of those. Let's see if I can flip these up. That's where they go. And get all those out. And I may one day have time to get them all on necklaces, because I got into a kick where I was just making stuff and not actually making it to a necklace. Pumpkin back. And we'll close that box up and make room for some finished stuff. I use an old toolbox because when I take it places, if I need to, I can lock it, and it would at least slow them down a little bit. This one didn't make it to a bag, and this one actually isn't resin. It is resin covered, but this is selenite. It's a real soft stone, easy to shape by hand with some sandpaper and maybe a file. And then I coated it in resin after I got it done to protect it, to keep it from chipping. I gotta open the bags. I've got all of these bagged up. This little guy I've named Waldo. Again, it's a black walnut. I've given it an acorn cap and picked out some wooden beads to accent him. And these are just a lot of fun to make. This one here has kyanite hidden behind his raw hematite eyeballs. And in here, we just got a lot of bags, so how about these were some of the last stuff made. Maybe I can get it open. This has coral, red coral stones in it, with more of the glass beads to give it the clear base. Let me get a few of these out here. Ah, this is one of my favorites. This is a snail shell, again, and I put some dye inside of it, and when I put it in the mold and dumped the resin in, the dye came seeping out almost like it was smoking. And it's one of my favorites. Okay. I love to experiment with different things and colors, and just whatever I can kind of come up with from one moment to the next. This one has crepe myrtle flowers and bachelor button petals. If you can see that. And just have it on a copper chain, real simple. This one's got an interesting story behind it. I had just gotten my new bead molds, if you can see it, and my resin was hardening faster than I could get it into the molds, so it didn't go all the way down in it. See the blue? That was supposed to be a bead, and it didn't come out. But when I pulled it out, I was like, hey, that looks like a glow-in-the-dark mushroom. So it became a piece for a ball pendant. And now I've got this little blue glow-in-the-dark mushroom in here. And I found some nice shades of blue to go with it. But these are all pendants and necklaces. Here's one that's a layered stones. When you do stones, it is easier if you lay them flat in one of these, where the air's less likely to get caught. See? This is just a variety of pink and red stones that I have. Some rose quartz and coral, garnets, and some red agate. this one's interesting. This one has tiger's eye, rose quartz, and onyx, amethyst, and they're all combined together into one pendant. And it's got hematite beads in between. This is a kind of a balance and healing necklace for the crystal base. And for those who really like to use or would like to be able to wear obsidian, if you make an entire piece of resin out of the coal dust, you can make a piece of fake obsidian or onyx, however you want to see it. But it gives it the appearance of a stone, and it's not. Lots of fun. Just pure carbon. That is a piece of banded jasper from rock hunting out at the lake on a camping trip. Pretty good sized rock that I cut up, and it had this banding in it, and it was really cool. So you never know when you're going to find something that turns out to be really pretty. But down in here, oh, that's my old flyer. In here we've got our emergency candles, and these actually glow in the dark. They don't have any scent. They're just designed for power outages. You set them in a window, and when the power goes out at night, you can still find it because it's glowing. And that's a cicada in my paperweight with a base below it that glows in the dark. And some of the petals out of the garden. Maybe organize this a little better. I kind of get ahead of myself sometimes. Oh, this is fun. I like this one. I didn't realize I had it out. This is actually made from blue scraps. It was something that I accidentally overfilled. It didn't work out the way I wanted it to. And I peeled it up and took it apart. And curiously, it turned into this, which is really cool. The blue pieces do glow in the dark some. But oh, these are all kind of stuck together. This pink heart glows in the dark. There's a piece of jasper wrapped there. And quartz, you know, there's a piece of quartz. These I call the twins. I put eyeballs on both sides, depending on what mood you're in. That's a wrapped stone of kyanite. And lots of candles and all sorts of stuff. There's another cicada shell that I filled up. And these are dream catchers that are made from old shower rings. My husband likes to make these paracord bracelets. There's more of the coal dust. There's 4 roses. Another thing, make sure you get all of the beads possible out of it. Drying beads will make resin boil the way it reacts. Some Indian blanket flowers. I'm not going to dig all of this stuff out of here. I'll eventually show you everything, but maybe not today. That's another deal of snake shed. And I want to take these that are like this, and I want to turn them into night lights, because I like to use a wood lathe. So maybe one of these days I'll actually get to use a wood lathe on it and get me a light made. And I'll be sure to post that as a video as I make it, because I'd love to turn all of these into night lights. So wild rose. Alrighty, I think we might call that quits for now. Oh, there's the chapstick. These are all beeswax chapsticks that we make that have shea butter and essential oils in them. A lot of them have coconut oil too. All natural, very good for you. So, as you can see, it can vary very widely from whatever you want to do. So just be creative with it. Just, if you think it might work, try it. You never know. So, if you really want to help out, like and subscribe, and keep an eye out for the next video. I'll try to keep doing my very best. Next time I will be sure to get the black light out and show you all what everything looks like under a black light. Well, that's it for the UnKnamed Cornerstore for today. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. Feel free to comment if there's anything that you'd like to see more of. And as always, don't get bored.